So when it comes to making decisions, how do you know what path to take?
Well, as of lately, get into the vortex, get into the good feeling, get into the feeling of what I want, and then take the effort.
Okay, so our listeners may not know about Abraham Hicks
Okay.
or the vortex.
Sure.
So explain what you mean by the vortex.
Okay. So the vortex is subjective, but it pretty much is a space, intangible space where, for me in my case, there's a certain business goal for our eco-friendly cleaners that I have, and so there's a certain energy, there's a certain way that I carry myself that business goal attracts and is attracted to. And so when I'm in that space, that's when I am best at taking action. That's when I'm best at creating new things for marketing. That's when I'm best at talking with customers.
How do you know you're in that space?
When I feel at ease, when I feel happy and joyous, and it could be the sky is falling outside, but I feel so at ease inside, and I'm grateful. Gratitude, gratitude has been very huge. Gratitude, yeah.
Gratitude is the shit.
Seriously, seriously.
It changes everything, and I think once I started doing that, I remember when I started doing, I couldn't find shit to be grateful for other than a good cup of coffee. Like I literally,
People love coffee.
it was a struggle for me.
Wow.
And I was like, is this gonna work? Because I'm really I'm really struggling. I like this blanket. Now this blanket makes me warm.
Seriously.
So yeah.
Seriously.
Okay, so when you're in that calm place and you're feeling a sense of joy, you're in that vortex, how does that enable you to make decisions, and how then do you decide from there what decision to make?
It's most times it's like a thought that just comes, or like a feeling, and it's just like, do this. And sometimes I don't listen. Sometimes I'm like, should I? But it's like I'm beginning to trust that more because it's my higher self. It's my inner self speaking, and it's guiding me. It's my inner self. As you say, your inner guru. Like my inner self is guiding me to the best or the highest choice. And so the more I trust it, even the other day, about 3 days ago, I was overthinking in my head. I started feeling that cloudy feeling. I was doing that all day. The next day I woke up, I was like, I'm not doing that. I wanna feel good. I wanna feel chill. So I just went with
That's
the
a
flow.
decision.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's the feeling. It's like, I wanna feel good. What can I do to feel good? What can I do to feel at ease? And I'm learning new things every day about what that means and what that is. And so I was like, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna go with the flow. And I was reading Queen of Fool's Secret Woman book, and I got a call about a cleaning. I wasn't doing anything. I was just in a presence of ease and joy and go with the flow, and
it comes to you. The universe continually conspires to work in our for our higher self in our behalf.
That's real. And it's been 7 years a little over 7 years since I've been on this journey. So it wasn't always like this, and I'm still learning how to use it for highest good. But I see when I do certain things, it's like, okay, let me do that, because that you start to see the patterns. It's like, when I do that happens. Okay, let me do more of that, so that more can happen.
Now, what about when you make a decision and it doesn't go the way you planned, or the thought comes up where that wasn't the right decision?
So it's at a place now where it's like, okay, everything is a lesson. Like there was no right or wrong to it. It's like, what can I learn from it? And I've always been very self-reflective. I've journaled since I was a little girl. So I like to ask myself, what can I learn from this? What can I do better? And sometimes it can be to a point where I do put pressure on myself, but it's like, I know it's coming from a place of being the best and being a better person. So it's still coming from a good place. And so, yeah, just self-reflection. Oh my goodness. That is the goal.
It sounds like it was a little bit easier for you if I talk about my journey in comparison, whereas I was afraid to look at myself because I was so judgmental about myself. And I was afraid that if I look at myself or admit, I was feeling, envy, or I was feeling maybe selfish, where I didn't want to share, or whatever the case may be, that I would somehow, that pain of acknowledging that thing, that self-judgment would just eat me alive. And so it was very dark and scary to kind of go through that door of looking at my shadow self and those, shadow characteristics of myself. It's a little easier now, a lot easier now. But there are times where it's still not. I on and off journal, and I know that is a good outlet, and I have all kinds of books, but on a consistent basis, that's one of my thoughts that's in my head, to really journal more, because when I do it, I can get it out.
That's real.
Is that how you feel when you are journaling? What is your experience?
Well, my personality, if you want to call it that, is more like the avoider. So I don't know if it was necessarily easier, because I was more avoiding things. Like even what I shared about needing to give myself more care and attention. That's something that's been nagging at me, but I hadn't sat down to journal it, because it's like, gotta do this, gotta do that, gotta do that. So when I took that day to just be at ease, I took the time to do the things that get me to that good feeling place. So sometimes I can avoid when I don't even really know I'm avoiding, until I sit down and do it. It's like,
so we create our own distractions.
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I think we all probably do that to some degree. The interesting thing is, and why this podcast is important to me is that I believe that we're all learning similar lessons, but our stories have such a unique twist and perspective on it. And if we just realize the oneness of the consciousness, we're not alone.
That's real.
And to be able to share these stories and our journeys, it's helpful.
That's real.
I think it's helpful. And, to be able to resonate when I hear stories, what people, even now, when I hear stories, we all love stories. It's like an innate thing with us. I think our ancestors, just, handing down information, knowledge, and wisdom through stories and building a community is crucial to our oneness.
Absolutely. And it's one of those things where it's like, even sharing the parts of ourselves that we're ashamed about, it's like, those are the most freeing things, because it's like you build up this big gate around it, but then it's like, after you share it,
and I want to say thank you for sharing what you shared earlier about being an exotic dancer.
Thank you
that was
for the platform to do so.
I know you said you were a little nervous about that, and that was a very vulnerable space, and I respect that. Thank you.
I appreciate you for the platform. Listen, I don't even know where your email came from. I was trying to find what list I subscribed to. It was just divine. I was literally looking through my email like, how do we find each other? It was just divine. And so like with that gate of like the things we shame ourselves about, once you say it, it's just like, oh, okay. Right. It's like light as a feather. Like my aunt, the goddess of truth and balance, is like, our goal is to create that balance in our lives and be truth seekers. And I believe that we can find that in religion, in different philosophies, in each other's stories. And it's like, once we are in this understanding collectively about that, it's like, that's how we ascend. Like, and the wars and everything that's going on in the world, that's like inner wars that people are experiencing. So it's like, we all have to go within. Like, the government, nobody's coming to save us. Like, we all have to go within and
Yeah.
save ourselves so that
Mhm.
we can come together. Like,
We have to stop feeling like we're the victim.
that's real. That's real. And the media and all that will project that you are, but you have to see beyond that. And it takes time. It's a journey. Yeah, I'm still learning.
And can I just recommend, y'all don't need to watch the news every day.
Especially in the morning, they need listen. This is a challenge. Everybody challenge the media to put on a meditation at 5, 6, 7 every day. How about all day? Put meditation on first thing in the morning. If we did more things like that, imagine what the world would be like. Okay, listen, yeah.
Turn off your TV. Put on YouTube something. Esther Hicks, Michael Beckwith, Bob Proctor, whoever it is that you like to listen to. Change your vibration for the day. Decide that you're going to have a different outcome. If we keep doing the same things, how are we going to expect to have a different outcome?
Insanity. Meatless Mondays, y'all. I'm telling you, the powers in the plants, the herbs are for the healing of the nations, okay? The pharmaceutical companies.
Oh, let's not even get on the pharmaceutical companies.
Okay. I'm going to say this, though.
Oh
the
my
plants,
gosh.
the herbs, they will heal you, okay? They will
Our
heal
bodies have already everything that we need. And since plants are living, they have a consciousness as well. We all share that consciousness, Mother Earth. And so the divinity that are in plants helps us to heal what we have inside. Don't get freaked out about the flus, the colds, the flu shots, and all these viruses and stuff that they're talking about. Don't get involved in that hype. Boost your immune system from inside, and trust that. That's a whole other thing.
Absolutely.
We'll be on a soapbox of that. I mean, that's where I started. My mom changed our whole diets when doctors couldn't help her. When we were 14, we had 2 juices in the house with 5 of us kids, and my mom would juice in the morning, and we would have chlorophyll and whatever else we would have, but it was a plant-based diet. And we had buckwheat pancakes, y'all. As a teenager, I wasn't trying to, buckwheat pancakes.
Give me my buttermilk.
Right.
But that's a beautiful thing now. Like, we're like plant-based and if you will, vegan. I use the word loosely because people who are vegan, they are animal activists. So it's just trendy, the name. But like you have all these alternatives now where you can still eat, if you want, the same kind of foods, but you don't have to, you can treat the animals well, pet
I
them.
want to say,
everything.
even please be careful with that, because all this overprocessed
That's
Beyond
real.
Meat, look at the sodium that you are ingesting. Okay.
Listen, oyster mushrooms though, like things like mushrooms, you can turn mushrooms into chicken. You can turn mushrooms into a chicken sandwich. You can turn hearts of palm into scallops, a scallop skin.
Ooh, that sounds
salad.
yummy. I don't know
Listen,
anything
we'll
about
come
that.
to Baltimore. Marcus gonna hook you up.
Ooh,
Okay.
I'm excited.
Okay.
Okay, so in wrapping up, where do you look for clarity? When you are feeling out of the vortex, when you're feeling unaligned, where do you go for that clarity, that alignment?
When
What
I get
works
the
for
most
you?
clarity, out in Mother Nature. Like, there are times where I've been out in Mother Nature and I just cried because it's so beautiful and just
Yeah,
so
I'm
perfect.
just getting goosebumps.
And
Yeah.
like, I remember when I was younger, I was disconnected from everything, and I purposely was driving. I wanted to run over a squirrel. Like, why? I don't know. Like, I purposely ran over a squirrel, drove over a squirrel, and I was listen.
Okay. No
Disconnected.
judgment.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Disconnected. But now I see that Mother Nature, like, she's our home, our planet. Like this littering of Mother Earth, the plastic, if you can reduce and stop using plastic.
And might I add, actually, the textile companies are actually causing more issue than plastic
That's
bottles. Living in Togo, meeting with the CEO of the African Global Recycling Company, he told me about the landfills of textiles that Americans, mostly Americans, send over in containers. Nigeria won't even accept a container of clothing anymore.
Wow.
So he had to burn it. And anyway, so yes.
thrift shop,
Thrift,
y'all.
yes,
Thrift
store.
shop, thrift shop, and you can find some of the coolest, unique things. So it's like us as Americans, and we're speaking here. Us as Americans, it's like we don't need all this stuff we think we need.
We don't.
It's the marketing, and it's playing tricks on your mind, and
It's that programming.
Yeah. We don't. We can live very simple lives, and a lot of the stress is coming from I need more.
Yes, and that is a lack mindset because we are already abundant.
This is true, because all we have is this moment, and we have everything we need. We have breath,
Everything we need.
we have connection, we have love, we have food, we have water, and
Oh my
some
gosh,
pieces.
yeah.
And that's something that becoming a mom really opened my eyes to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what tips would you offer for self-discovery?
Journaling, for sure. Journaling and art therapy. It can be very scary to just be still and silent. I know people fall asleep with the TV on, they fall asleep with music on, they always want to be around other people. But when you get still and get silent, it can be scary because you start to play back things that may have happened to you when you were younger, and most people believe people will go through at least one traumatic experience through their lifetime. So it's like,
if not more.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's like that healing is crucial. So journaling, sitting down and just writing, even if you don't know what to write. There's a woman. She writes a lot of books about artists, but she has something called the morning pages. Every morning you wake up and just write 3 pages, and that's the thing. It's going to be very hard in the beginning because you're breaking a habit.
Yeah.
You're breaking a habit, so it's like, but it's a beautiful journey. It is a beautiful journey. So yeah, journaling, express yourself in a healthy way that's not hurting yourself or anybody else.
You mentioned dancing. For you to release when you have something to, get rid of, or a healing moment. Tell me about how you use dance.
That's something that the other day when I had that realization is something that I'll be adding into the mix. Yeah,
okay.
So I'm figuring that out, where that'll happen, where I'll go, if I'll set up mirrors in the house and just dance. There's something I did as a child. It's something that, like, you're not thinking, you're just feeling, and this is the music. So that's something that I'll be introducing.
And it seems so natural. And when you look at living in Africa and seeing the movements and the body, and I use the word loosely, but can't even use the word because I lost it. Indigenous cultures where ceremonies are to release and heal include dance. That's a normal, almost, I want to say normal, I hate to use that word all the time, but it's in our nature.
It's like intrinsic.
Yeah.
To us. Yeah.
So, and I've been learning more about dance and releasing as well. Now they have certifications you can get for
Of course
for all
they
that.
do.
Of course they do. And I had another question, but now I don't have it. But we'll close with that. I want to thank you again for coming on the Anti-Coach and sharing your processes, how you make decisions, how you self-care, self-heal, your journey in terms of healing yourself, the inner child, and how that journey is continuing for you in the process of how it can be painful, and yet we can still enjoy life through the process. So is there anything that you would like to share in terms of your journey going forward? What do you feel like your next steps are with your journey without having that masculine energy trying to be, task orientated? What does that feel like for you?
It is discovering and rediscovering the sacred woman. The book I mentioned, Queen Afua, healing my womb, healing the parts of me that was promiscuous and didn't value my temple and my body and my what I offer as a woman. So and by that, I'll heal my home, and then when my home is healed, then we heal our community and heal our global community. So that's the foundation for me moving forward. And I'm an example to a direct example to my daughter now. So it's like everything I do is she's feeling right now. She's watching. She's taking in, and
like a sponge.
yeah. So and one thing last to say to the world is breathe. Like just breathe. And you mentioned that to me coming over here. That was something. Giving birth, it was like that was the only thing I had, my breath.
Right.
So it's like, yeah.
that was a fascinating thing for me. That was a turning point for me because we are literally giving birth and breathing. When we are birthing ideas and birthing the newness of ourselves, breathing is involved, and moving meditation. That's what I was gonna say.
Meditation.
Because people have, it's hard to just sit still when you've got the volume of life is so loud. When you have to really turn down the volume of life to tune in, to sit in silence initially is definitely a challenge. So like that moving meditation and art, something that we can be focused in on to let go of all of the other running thoughts on the screen. We can let that go and focus. So moving, anything that we're doing, washing dishes, taking a shower,
and
anything where you're
and being mindful.
just thought I would throw that in because that thought came back to me that I forgot.
It's so much to share, because even as you said about thoughts, it's like starting to just observe the thoughts, and even like there are times where I still feel jealous. There are times where I still feel insecure, and it's like, okay, I know this is a spirit. This isn't really who I am. So it's like, I'm just going to observe it. I'm going to admit it. And then it's like, okay, what can I do to shift the vibration?
Right. Yeah. I would love to get more into that. But let's go ahead and close out. Yeah. And again, thank you for tuning in. And how can we get in contact with you?
Yes, so.
And your business.
Yes,
and Marcus's.
Yes. Yes. So if you're ever in the Baltimore City area, we do have a homemade Maryland vegan crab cake Airbnb experience. We'll invite you into our home, and Marcus will show you how to make a vegan crab cake. And
awesome.
You can enjoy the same things that you love without, necessarily harming your health.
Yeah.
And as far as the eco-friendly cleaning business, cleanhomeforyou.com is where the world can go to book in 60 seconds your cleaning.
What about for, how would they contact you for creative content?
Yes.
For artists and other entrepreneurs?
So I use the platform Fiverr.
Awesome.
However, my Instagram page, so Christina Coleman, and we'll put the link below.
Yeah.
You contact me directly from there.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So you heard it right here. Get yourself some vegan crab cakes in Baltimore. Yes. Make a special trip. I mean, that sounds worth it to me.
And thank you. Thank you for this platform. Thank you for
You're
bringing
welcome.
the conversation that we need for healing, for ascension. It's beautiful, and many blessings and wholeness to
Thank you. Namaste. Remember to subscribe, share if you feel this content is helpful to you or someone else you know. If you want to be a guest on my show, please, I'll put the link. You can contact me, either DM me at So Free Sophia, and also podcast The Anti-Coach, Ignite the Guru in You on Spotify, Apple, and a variety of other ones. So thank you again, and namaste.